let's talk about two huge mistakes that people make when they start making their goals or their SMART goals. Let's face it, most people are going to be making goals and SMART goals, and most of you have dreams and vision for the next year or for the next season of your life, whatever it may be. People make goals, but I think there's two huge mistakes that people make. So let's talk about it right now. Not just in SMART goals, but just in goals in general. Okay, I'm gonna jump in and then I'm gonna talk about SMART goals in just a second, but I'll just tell you the number one thing that people do when it comes to their goals that's a huge mistake is they make their goals too easy to fail and too difficult to achieve. Okay, now you thought I was going to say they did make their goals too easy, but there is a fine balance there. You want to make your goals achievable, but you also don't want to make them so difficult that you will fail. Okay, so I know I switched that around, but think about it again. They make it too easy to fail. And you might say, what do you mean too easy to fail? Is like, for example, they're like, I want to work out 7 days a week for the next 7 weeks. And if they miss one day, they fail. You know, so instead of putting such strict guidelines on it, how about I want to be disciplined to exercise over the next 7 weeks? How do I want to do that? I want to, you know, and so because you have the desire and maybe you miss a day in working out for 7 days a week for the next 7 weeks, and that just seems to be too easy to fail, and it's also difficult to achieve. Okay, so make it simpler. Now, in the 7 areas of greatness, we do include training for SMART goals there. So I'm going to go over it right here and talk about a SMART goal, and then we'll talk about the other huge mistake. Now, you might have heard of SMART goals before, but I'm going to go over the S.M.A.R.T for the way that we use it, and SMART goals, and most of SMART goals, the S means specific. So you want to be very specific with the goal that you're trying to accomplish. So when you make this goal, make it very specific, but also easy to say, easy to remember, a one phrase, a one sentence, or even a one word. What is my goal? Achieve what? You know, like just to say something very simple, okay? 1 or 2 words, all right? So then the next thing is measured, right? A lot of people don't measure their goal. They say, well, I want to, so like for instance, my goal is to make more money this month than I did last month, right? Well, that's a great goal because it's easy to achieve, and I'm not putting the amount on it, like to make $10,000 next month. That's my goal. You're making, see how that kind of just cuts it off? But when you do measure your goal, okay, you do measure it, you do want to say maybe from 8,000 to 8,200, or from, you know, 10,000 to 11,000, like whatever, however much you make. You could do a percentage and have a range. Being measured could say, I want to increase my income. That's my goal, right? Measuring it, that's specifically the goal. But measuring your goal could be simply by to increase my income, that's the specific part, by 5 to 10%. So there's a range in there, but you are measuring it. So you're trying to make 5% more, and you can make 10 or even go beyond, you know? So have some flexibility in there, but also measure it. The A is obtainable. So notice I said 5 to 10% increase. It's not way out there. Like, I want to increase my income by 100% and double my income from this month until next month. I mean, is that really attainable? What about the R? Sometimes people say R is realistic, but we believe that the R needs to be relevant, and realistic is really covered in attainable. Is it attainable? But we're saying relevant. Now, is this relevant? Like, when you make a goal, is it relevant to your overall goal in that area? For instance, if you have a goal that you're shooting for, that you want to buy a car by a certain date, you know, and then you're saying, I want to increase my income by 5%, and I'm going to do that by going to the gym or canceling my gym membership or something like this. I'm just saying, I've heard it all. I've heard all kinds of stuff that isn't relevant to them achieving their goal, but they just put it in there because it pops into their mind. You got to be specific, right? And make sure that it's measured, attainable, but also is it relevant? Okay, when you make a SMART goal, make it relevant. Okay, and the last thing would be time bound. Notice I said I want to buy a car by this time or whatever. It's time bound. So this specific goal of this SMART goal, maybe it is buying a car, like cash. You know, you want to buy a car cash. And in order to do that, you're going to need to make more money. So you want to increase by 2 to 5% or 5 to 10% each month. Maybe you're going to do some side hustles and maybe do a yard sale or flip some stuff on Facebook Marketplace or whatever it might be. You're going to be trying to make some extra money to get to that place where you buy your car. The SMART goal is to increase your income. And now we might as well get into the second huge mistake that people make after they come up with their goal. And it's this. A lot of times people will do a SMART goal or they'll have a goal, but there's one thing they leave out. It's either a question, some say like a question they should ask themselves, but I think of it as like a phrase that you should include in your goal. And it's this: in order to achieve this, okay, whatever your goal is, in order to achieve this, I am doing the following. Okay, now notice I didn't say in order to achieve this, I'm going to try to do the following. In order to achieve this, I am or I will, like those are two different things. So I am doing it or I will do it, right? Even if you say, in order to achieve this, I will think about maybe, you know, you got to make it like, in order to achieve this, I will do the following. And then list it out. I'm going to do this, like Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to do this. Maybe not go out to eat so much. I don't know, cook from home, whatever it may be. I'm going to do this. So you're actually developing your goal and you're doing two things on your goal. You're making it very easy to achieve. Sorry, you're not making it. You're not making it easy to fail and difficult to achieve. You're making it easy to achieve and difficult to fail, because a lot of people give up on their goals after a couple days. You know, they write their goal down knowing that they're already defeated because they wrote their goal in such a way that is so hard to achieve. Do you see what I'm saying here? So yes, make your goal easy to achieve but difficult to fail, not easy to fail and difficult to achieve. Does that make sense? And then finally, that question you got to ask yourself at the end: in order to do this, I'm doing the following. So I hope this helps with your goal. Make sure to get one of these books at jline.network, and you'll have all the tools for just really greatness.